U.S. manufacturing, a process that's mechanical, physical, or chemical, is the transformation of raw materials into new products. Manufacturing businesses include plants, factories, and mills, and they make their products with power-driven machines and equipment. They also include small and home-based businesses that make things by hand, like bakeries, candy stores, and custom tailors. Manufacturing also includes companies that contract with others to make the goods, but in the U.S., it does not include housing and commercial construction. Importance of manufacturing in the U.S. economy. Manufacturing is an essential component of gross domestic product, which was $2.33 trillion in 2018 and drove 11.3% of U.S. economic output, according to the Bureau of Economic Analysis. Manufactured goods comprise half of U.S. exports. Manufacturing adds a lot of value to the power of the U.S. economy. Every dollar spent in manufacturing adds $2.74 to the economy, including retailing, transportation, and business services. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the United States has 12.69 million manufacturing jobs, which employs 7.9% of the workforce as of 2018. Yet, 89% of manufacturers are leaving jobs unfilled because they cannot find qualified applicants. According to a 2018 Deloitte report, the skills gap could leave 2.4 million vacant between 2018 and 2028. That could cost the industry $454 billion in 2028. Manufacturing used to be a larger component of the U.S. economy. In 1970, it was 24.3% of GDP, double what it was in 2018. America's age as the world's leading manufacturer has also slipped. In 1970, China was the world's fifth largest manufacturer. It took the top spot in 2010, replacing the United States. Japan is the third at 10%. Followed by Germany at 7%, South Korea at 4%, and India at 3%. China produces 20% of the world's goods, and the U.S. produces 18%. The biggest reason for the decline is a shift to a service-based economy. Banking and other financial services expanded throughout the second half of the 20th century. The switch to a service sector economy happened to other developed countries for the same reasons, but the U.S. manufacturing industry has lost global market share, while less developed countries, such as China, have increased their manufacturing capabilities. Another contributor is the high U.S. standard of living compared to other countries. That makes labor costs much greater than in other nations. Many federal policies also decrease U.S. competitiveness, making U.S. manufacturing costs higher than those of many other countries, even when labor costs are not included. Manufacturing was expected to expand in 2020 by the Institute for Supply Management. Manufacturing will be boosted by the tax cuts, but could be hurt by Trump's trade war. It also depends on the strength of the U.S. dollar. If the dollar declines, that's good for exporters. Underlying these short-term developments are 5 new forces that are driving manufacturing's growth. Trump's trade policy, called America First, is based on economic nationalism. He supports tariffs, duties, and other forms of protectionism to give domestic industries a competitive advantage. The plan does this in a few primary ways: end outsourcing and bring back jobs from overseas. America lost 31.4% of its manufacturing jobs between 2000 and 2011. These were steady jobs that on average paid $28.85 per hour. U.S. companies outsourced many of these jobs to save money, but robotics, artificial intelligence, and bioengineering also made some jobs obsolete. so ending outsourcing may not bring back all the jobs that were lost. It's possible that government-sponsored training for these specialties might create more jobs for U.S. workers than a trade war. Increase U.S. competitiveness against China. U.S. manufacturing, as measured by the number of jobs, declined 35% between 1998 and 2010, before rebounding by about 12% from then through the end of November 2019. Overall, manufacturing jobs in the United States have declined by about 27% since 1998. In 2018, Trump imposed 3 tariffs on $250 billion in Chinese imports. In 2019, he levied a 25% tariff on an additional $200 billion worth of goods. China responded with tariffs on $110 billion of U.S. products. In December 2019, Trump announced a trade deal between the U.S. and China. In the deal, China agreed to increase imports of certain U.S. goods by $200 billion annually. The Federal Reserve estimated that tariffs on Chinese goods cost the average household $831 a year. Trump pulled out of the Trans-Pacific Partnership, TPP, in 2017, saying it would force U.S. workers to compete with lower-paid foreign workers, thus sending more jobs overseas. On the other hand, the TPP was formed to help the United States strengthen its ties with Asian countries that are struggling to compete with China. Without the TPP, proponents argue these countries may rely more on China and less on the United States, making America less competitive. Other ways include the decline of the American manufacturing industry, the uneven distribution of national wealth, and the imperfect social welfare system have led to more people in poverty in U.S. society. After Joe Biden takes helm in White House, what changes will this new administration bring to relations with U.S. and other countries? How would he confront a historical confluence of crises? That's all. Thank you.